Hi, I'm Brian and welcome to my Sad Bastard video tag from 2024. And a special shout out to John at the Digital Gramophone for putting together such an interesting, exciting and intriguing list. A list that I never thought I would respond to because, well, partly I don't tend to dwell on sadness, but also I didn't think I had a lot of sad albums and songs in my record collection. And partly also because I thought of the people who are doing it a bit tough at this time of the year. And then I thought about the power of music and its ability to share emotions. So we realize that there are other people who are going through things just like us. And maybe there aren't answers, but I firmly believe in the idea that a problem shared is a problem halved. Now, for all the bastards out there, well, you take a good, long, hard look at yourself. But the sad bastards, well, can't we all be sad bastards at times in our lives? And that's why we have music to get us up, to get us down, to get us on the roller coaster, and to keep us going around. So enough yakking. Let's get into my deep dive into these questions. Sad Bastard Vinyl Tag 2024. Let's go. So right out of the gate, I'm going to offer up a curveball on the first question, which is an overplayed sad song, because I don't have a lot of sort of romance pop songs in my collection, but I do have this, and it's Jimi Hendrix Experience, and I'm looking at Hey Joe from the Are You Experienced album, released in '66 on single. How amazing is that? 1966 and the album coming out in 1967. But I'm particularly targeting the lyrics by Billy Roberts, the Californian folkie. And the reason I think it's a sad story is when you break them all down. I'm going down to shoot my old lady. You know, I caught her messing around with another man. So it's not eye for an eye here, is it, Joe? It's sort of like an eye for a life. And then once you take the life, you don't want to then to go for a life to life. No, you're going to escape to Mexico and be praised as being this outlaw rather than face up to the noose. Now, I'm not into capital punishment or anything like that, but stick the guy in jail and then I might listen to you sing the blues. Great version, of course, by Hendrix. It's a killer song. The guitar solo is incendiary, and I love that progression going upwards of the down, 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 down. Wow, absolutely stunning stuff. But for me, the lyrics out of date, sad, overplayed. Give me something else. Next one is you're listening to an album and somebody walks in and says, "What is this sad bastard shit?" Well, I could have pulled out a couple here, I think, but the one I've eventually gone for it because it actually did happen in my life, kinda, is Placebo's Sleeping with Ghosts. And this came out in 2003, and I was listening to some music with a mate of mine, and I decided to put on a bit of Placebo. And at the end of the song, he was very respectful, but at the end of the song, he said, "When are you going to realize that I'm never going to get into that sad shit like you?" And so, with my tail between my legs, I put it away. This is an album that can make me scull a beer and cry in my own beer at the same time. Brilliant songs like Bulletproof Cupid, but I love the sadder songs like Sleeping with Ghosts, Centerfolds, I'll Be Yours, Special Needs. They're absolutely beautiful. I think the song I was playing to my friend was Protect Me From What I Want. This is an absolutely stunning album. Wonderful gatefold sleeve, and one that I can absolutely highly recommend. That's Placebo Sleeping with Ghosts. Third question up is a sad album to many, but a dance party to you. And I haven't seen a lot of this guy on the vinyl tag so far, but to me, can't believe it. Anyway, for me, it's Songs of Love and Hate by Leonard Cohen, came out in 1971. And while it may be a sad album to many, to me, it's just a dance party in my mind. I'll never forget back when I was about 17 years old, I was walking the streets late at night by myself. I just was on my way back from my girlfriend's house, and I was sort of had the long hair. I was hippish at the time, a bit of the old Haight Ashbury in me. And I was walking along, and I had a Walkman, but it didn't have headphones. It just had a speaker, so it was like a dictaphone type thing. And out of it came blaring at about 2 a.m. in the morning, Songs of Love and Hate. Anyway, I was halfway home, and a police car pulled up, and the window wound down, and the guy leaned over and looked at me and said, "Son, what are you doing?" And I said, "I'm listening to Leonard Cohen." And then he didn't lock me up as he probably should, a precocious and pretentious 17-year-old. But he said, "Okay, son, on your way, go home." And that was that. Um, the lyrics right from the start. I stepped into an avalanche. It covered up my soul. When I am not this hunchback that you see, I sleep beneath the golden hill. You who wish to conquer pain, you must learn to serve me well. Oh my God, what an introduction into doom and sadness and gloom and madness all on the one album. Probably it is one of my top 5 albums of all time. Next question up is it's a love song, but it's sad. And here I went with Otis Redding from the Live in Europe album, and it's I've Been Loving You Too Long to Stop Now. I mean, Otis Redding can really pour it out like nobody else can, that emotion, that pain, and share it with the crowd. And I really get it in this song. My first introduction to this song was in D.A. Pennebaker's Monterey Pop film, and I thought it was absolutely incredible, that performance, and how the wash of the light just went right across the screen. It was almost like his love and his pain were intermingled and then were going to fade out and be washed away. Absolutely brilliant. And then in that performance, when he says at Monterey, this is the love crowd, right? We all love each other, don't we? Am I right? Let me hear you say, yeah. And the crowd goes off as well. It's an unbelievable performance, but it's not just a love song, it's a loss of love song. And Otis sings, you were tired and your love is growing cold. My love is growing stronger as our affair grows old. I've been loving you too long to stop now. So it's like he knows his partner is out the door and that it's all over, but he can't stop as she has become a habit to him. Sadness in a song, but the uplifting nature of the way he sings it and the heartbreak that he gets out still is a very reaffirming song as well. Next one up is number 5. It's a favorite sad lyric. And I seem to be spending a bit of time in 1967 because Otis was in 1967 as well. And this time I'm going with 1967's Velvet Underground and Nico. And the song that I'm choosing here, and we all know this cover, don't we? Yes. And the song that I'm going for here, this is a great reissue. Really happy with this, is All Tomorrow's Parties. You've got that stentorian Teutonic chanteuse of Nico leading us through this very psychedelic droning classic. But the great lyrics are, and what costume shall the poor girl wear to all tomorrow's parties? A hand-me-down dress from who knows where to all tomorrow's parties. And where will she go? And what will she do when midnight comes around? She'll turn once more to Sunday's clown and cry behind the door. No Cinderella story here. Beautiful, poignant, sad, magic song that really resonates beautifully. And again, because of the nature of the music, there's something affirming about it as well. So question 6 is a breakup song or album. And I think that this album was the first one I ever paid for with my own money. And the reason for this is it's by an artist who my youngest elder sister, she's 12 years older than me, that she had another album by this guy, and she was a great influence on my musical taste initially. And the album is A Bag Full of Soul by Jose Feliciano. And the song is If I Really Bug You, Then You Don't Love Me. And I'm sort of going for something lighter and more comic on this because Jose Feliciano's delivery is absolutely rapid fire throughout. I'll give it a shot. Well, I try to kiss your cheek and you jerk away your face. I take you to a restaurant, you say you hate the place. I take you to a movie and you can't stand the show. I beg you to be nice to me, you tell me where to go. Well, if I really bug you, then you don't love me. You know it's the truth, then that's the way it's gotta be. Well, if I really bug you, then you don't love me. Yeah, 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 yeah. And he comes up with his rapid fire thing at the end. Every time I take you out to the village, you want to have a sausage sandwich and spend money, baby. I don't know why, but every time I use insect repellent on you, you tell me that you'd bug me, baby. Yeah, I don't know why. Anyway, the breakup song, it's pretty cool in many ways. Our favorite song by the Smiths. I'm going to be incredibly boring. I think I've probably said it before. but it is How Soon Is Now. And you might be looking at this if you haven't seen a previous post and be going, what? How Soon Is Now is not on Meter's Murder. Well, it is on the Australian pressing on Rough Trade. Don't know whether I've got the right side there, but this was the copy of Meter's Murder that I really was looking out for, and it's my favorite Smith song. My second favorite is That Joke Isn't Funny Anymore, and both, of course, on this album from 1984. And I love the line which is following up about the club that you'd like to go. You could meet somebody who really loves you. But in response to How Soon Is Now, Morrissey says, when you say it's going to happen now, well, when exactly do you mean? See, I've already waited too long and all my hope is gone. You shut your mouth, hey, can you say? I go about things the wrong way. I am human and I need to be loved, just like everybody else does. What an insanely brilliant song that just speaks to so many people. Saddest song by a popular band. I couldn't think of a popular band that had the sad song or the saddest song, so I went with an artist, and this artist is Lou Reed. Lou Reed, and the album is Magic and Loss, and I am in love with this album. I think it's the greatest meditation of and celebration of loss and magic in our lives that has ever been committed to vinyl. And the song I'm particularly pointing out is one called Dreaming, which is subtitled Escape. And this album was put together as a response to Lou losing two of his best friends in the space of about 9 months. And he sort of recounts the last moments that he had with one of his friends in this song, Dreaming. And it came out in 1992, and I never totally connected with this song until 2003, which was the year that my father died. And I took about a week off work, and I wasn't processing his loss at all, or my loss of him at all. And I was, after a week away at work, I decided to drive in to go to work. And halfway through that journey, all of a sudden, Dreaming came on, and I had to pull over to the side of the road. I was just in tears, and finally, I was able to process and let it out and deal with it. It was absolutely an amazing moment. I mean, up to this point, I'd recently lost a cat, and I'd cried about my cat more than I had about my father. Anyway, Lou helped me out here, and that's what I was talking about, the power of music, and not only be a way to share emotion, but also be so cathartic as well. These beautiful lyrics. You sat in your chair with a tube in your arm. You were so skinny. You were still making jokes. I don't know what drugs they had you on. You said, I guess this is not the time for long-term investments. You were always laughing, but you never laughed at me. If I close my eyes, I can't believe I'm here without you. Inside your pale room, your empty red chair, and my head, dreaming. I'm always dreaming. Magic. Question 9. Tears in Your Beer, a sad country song. Now, here's the first of two questions I did not think I'd be able to respond to because I don't have any country songs in my collection, or so I thought. Back to 1967, and probably my favorite album of all time is Country Joe and the Fishers, Electric Music for the Mind and Body. And the reason that I say that it might just be my favorite album of all time is because of, I think it's this track up here, and it's from Country Joe, and it's called Sad and Lonely Times. And you know what's really sad about this song is, what the hell's it doing on this album? This is a psychedelic masterpiece from start to finish, which captured the zeitgeist of the Haight-Ashbury and all of that going along. And they've got this country and western song sung by Barry. What's it doing there? Anyway, maybe it just needs, it's there to give us a breath. But, you know, I fail on all counts here because not even the lyrics are that sad, because Barry sings, so long, sad and lonesome times, so long, lonely days, so long, sad and lonesome times, got my love here to show me the way. So, I mean, my God, I lose on all counts here. But anyway, there's a sad song, sort of, a country song that's on an album that I own. My favorite soundtrack, soundtrack to a sad movie or sad soundtrack, was the other question that I thought was going to stump me, because I thought the only soundtrack that I had was from Woodstock. And this is my old copy. I'm not going to open it up because it'll fall apart. My old copy from back when I was probably about 12 years old. And I was thinking on here, what am I going to go with? And I just couldn't get one. Maybe if you've got a suggestion, you can put it down in the comments. But everything seems to be so positive and so happy. Anyway, but then I realized something else. I realized that I had a soundtrack that was commissioned for a movie, but never actually got into the movie. Well, the director's cut. Apparently, there was a cut with it in the movie, and that is the Eurythmics 1984, which is absolutely, sorry about the glare, which is absolutely my favorite Eurythmics album. I think it's a masterpiece from start to finish. But apparently, the director Michael Radford didn't like it and felt it was foisted on him. I think he was the quote that he was talking about, and so rejected it in the cut of the movie. Now I've seen the trailer, an official trailer, which is on YouTube, of the movie with sex crime on it, and to me that doesn't really work. But somebody else has done a beautiful trailer with the song "I Did It Just the Same" as the soundtrack, and it was wonderful. Great songs on here, great sad songs as well. I Did It Just the Same. Greetings from a Dead Man. Room 101 is absolutely harrowing. Can't recommend. If you haven't heard this album before, I can't recommend this highly enough to you, because I think so easily it's dismissed as being a minor effort from the Eurythmics, but it is insanely good. And I love the lyrics in Julia. When winter leaves her branches bare and icy breezes chill the air, oh Julia, the freezing snow lies everywhere. My darling, will we still be there? It's an amazing version, a song by Annie Lennox and Dave Stewart, and Annie Lennox's vocals are just ridiculously phenomenal. So check that one out. Okay, so question 11 is I'm Only Happy When It Rains. And I was thinking about putting on Garbage's second album, which helped me through a prolonged bout of sadness. But then I thought it wouldn't be a sad bastard vinyl tag without this album, Sounds of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. This album goes way, way back with me. It was a favorite of my parents, and I think it's an absolute masterpiece. I'm saying that quite a lot here. 1967. But what's amazing about this album for Simon and Garfunkel, you often think of, well, I often think of being quite uplifting and quite spiritual in many ways, is how dark these songs are. And I think it's perfect for a rainy afternoon as you watch the raindrops just sort of compete and race down your window pane. The Sounds of Silence, of course, is an amazingly depressing, I suppose, song of gloom. But there are other songs in here, particularly Richard Cory, A Most Peculiar Man, and the harmonically beautiful, melodically beautiful April Come She Will. Has there ever been a more pretty song written, a more beautiful song, and a more poignant, sad song? I love it. When I used to gig a lot and do solo shows, I used to play April Come She Will a lot as well. Other great songs on here. Paul Simon's version of Angie's incredible. And after, we've sort of gone through a lot of sadness, a lot of death, a lot of loss on this album, it picks up towards the end with We've Got a Groovy Thing Going, which is sort of a subtitle there, Just for Fun, if you can read that. And then the ultimate anthem of resilience, I Am a Rock, which is telling us to go on with our lives, even if the world seems to be against us. A song which the church famously or infamously covered on their EP Sing Songs. Had to get in at least one mention of the church in this video. Anyway, that's mine for the I'm Only Happy When It Rains. What a beautiful way to spend a rainy afternoon. Question 12 is the sappiest, corniest, happiest bullshit song you've ever heard. Now, I don't have a lot of sappy, corny songs, but I do have a song which I have this ongoing struggle with because I like it so much, but I hate the album. And that one is called Tonight I'm Yours by Rod Stewart. And if you've watched my channel before, you know that there's this love-hate relationship going on here. But I'm pleased to say that the love-hate relationship is over because I can now ditch my album and get rid of that or pass it on to somebody who would love to hear it, because I picked up this single, same cover, but only the one song. Of course, it does have a B-side on it, which I'm probably never going to listen to. But Tonight I'm Yours is here. And the reason why this is a Sappiest, Corniest, Happiest bullshit song I've heard, because from 1981, because this is a breakup song before even making out. You're getting your sadness built into the arrangement, even though he says, and tomorrow morning we won't cry. You know, somebody's going to be crying. Um, the audacity of this man. Anyway, more lyrics from this song. I'm only looking for a fantasy, an interlude from reality. Don't want nobody trying to rescue me, so rock me, babe. Tonight I'm yours. Do anything that you want me to, but don't hurt me. Don't hurt me, please. Don't hurt me, babe. Just give me an interlude from reality. Oh, well, there it is, finally out. So the last question is, shout out a sad bastard to do this vinyl tag. Well, I'm so new to the vinyl community that I don't really know any sad bastards yet. So I thought about doing something else, but I've realized throughout this that even talking about sad music can give you pleasure. And remember, if music of any style, shape, or sound, or sadness gives you pleasure, then who am I to argue with your opinion? Anyway, so my name's Brian. I hope you're all doing really well. And until next time, bye now.